Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Breath of Gold Festival. I'm your host, Adrienne Rivera, and today I'm super excited to be here with Dr. East, who is a doctor of Chinese medicine. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. So happy to be here.
Yes, I am so looking forward to this conversation and all of the tools and tricks that you're going to share with us about how we can really elevate our lives. I know you have an amazing workbook that we're going to learn a little bit about and some practical tools so that we can really create shifts beyond just breath work. So, first, I'd love for you to share a little bit about your journey and how you got into the work that you're doing now.
Yeah. Thank you. A lot of people want to know right away if my name is my real name. I studied Chinese medicine. I went to school for Chinese medicine. That wasn't my direct path. I was a business undergrad major, but I was given the name East in the 70s. I do have a brother named West, just in case anybody's
Oh, that's so
wondering.
cool.
Yeah. And so with the name East, I think I was already predestined for something a little bit more alternative. And so as my path took me, I graduated business school and I just kind of looked and said, these aren't really my people. There was no possibility for me in that business world, even though I kind of had a sense of business. So I set off, like many of us do, to go, okay, if it's not business, what is it? I thought it was medical school. So I started taking my prereqs for medical school. At the same time, I was doing yoga here in La Jolla in a very small yoga group. And coincidentally, or not so coincidentally, one of the other members in the small yoga group was a teaching professional from UCSD Medical School. And so she and I would talk after yoga class about the field of medicine. And she kept saying, East, I don't know. First of all, your name's East. I don't know if you're meant for Western medicine. And all you want to talk about is natural medicine. Perhaps you should go straight into natural medicine. I didn't even know what that would look like. She then told me to go check out the school for acupuncture. And I thought, no way, needles, no how, not going to happen. But I did. I took her advice, and I'm so grateful I did because I went down to the school for Chinese medicine here in San Diego, walked in, and I just saw it all. It was the herbs, the mysticism, the philosophy, the way of life. I just felt like I was home, and I enrolled thinking, well, if I don't like it, I'll go back to Western medicine. I never did. So I did finish my degree, and then I've been both feet into Chinese medicine and that field of natural medicine ever since. That was a long journey of it. And that has morphed. I've taught in Chinese medicine. I've private practiced here in San Diego, in Orange County, back in San Diego. And so the underlying theme, and I think the thing I was born with, is a desire to help others, is really a true, genuine love for people and wanting to be with them on this journey. Ram Dass is one of my favorite thought leaders, and I really resonate with his quote of, we're all just walking each other home. And so I am still walking people home. And the way I do it right now is through frequency work, because in all my years, in all the needles and herbal supplements and everything I've used to help people remember who they are, working with their frequency, their vibration, the energetics, pure like just forgiveness has been the most powerful medicine I've ever found. And so that's where I'm at in my journey of walking people home, is working, helping them to elevate their frequencies, levels of consciousness, and work on that. And the shifts and the changes and the transformations that I'm witness to are so beautiful. And so that's a little bit about my story.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I love that we're so aligned in the work that we do. And I
Yep.
really love what you're sharing. Out of all the things that you've done more practical with physical health, it's really the frequency and forgiveness work that you've seen really make a huge difference. And a lot of times people ask me, they're like, Adrienne, how does circular connected breath impact our health? And it's like really the outcome of healing trauma is what impacts health. And so I'd love for you to talk a little bit about that. People say that stagnant energy manifests as physical disease. What's your perspective on that?
Yeah, I mean, these bodies are our vehicles, and we are in communion with them. They're talking to us, we're talking to them. So that kind of leads me to two of the seven things that can lead you to a higher frequency. One is your language. So our language is creating our reality. That's part of our reality creation are the words and the language we speak. And that goes to our body as well. And I'm sure you probably teach this in breath work whether it's an internal dialogue or an external dialogue, our conversation and communication with ourselves needs to be sacred. It needs to be of a high frequency. We don't have bad anythings. Oh, that's my bad knee. Oh, that's my, or, that's that we clean that up. Your knee may be affected. Really, what's happening is your knee's trying to get your attention. Pain, discomfort, these aches and pains or dis-ease. It's just a way of our body, our vehicle. It's the warning light coming on to get our attention. We need some maintenance here. We need some attention here, a healing perhaps before we keep moving forward. The problem is a lot of us just turn the radio up. We don't want to listen. We don't want to see the gauges. We don't want to hear, the rattling under the hood. And so if we can take a pause and communicate with our bodies, very, very powerful work that way. And then you said one other thing that I was going to lead to movement and stagnation. 100%. If you look out in nature, we're just a little microcosms of the macrocosm. So we are nature beings. And if we're not growing, we're doing the opposite. So growth requires movement, and stagnation out in nature is where things go to die, stagnate, not growing. Our vehicles, our bodies need that movement. They need that expression because, as you know, with breath work, emotions, past experiences, traumas are held in the body. And so movement can help express that, move it through the meridians or the channels, so to speak, and help to process those traumas in our body. So our bodies are helping us move through life.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing that. And it sounds like the first daily habit out of your 7 is language. Did I get that right?
No, that's not I'll give you the 7. Let's just
okay. Yes. I want to know the 7.
Yeah. So out of all the years of all the rituals and practices I've done, I've boiled it down to these 7. If anybody's heard of the 75 hard, it's kind of like the 75 hard with a little bit more of a spiritual twist. Yeah, it's like 75 hard made somewhat easier, but not too easy. So they're very similar. So it's gratitude, everyday gratitude, right? That's going to raise your frequency right there. Just write down 3 or 5 things for which you feel grateful. So gratitude is the first thing. The second thing in this challenge in particular is appreciation. So it's gratitude expressed outward. So it's just a giving appreciation to somebody at a deeper level. Instead of just saying thanks, you might say, hey, Adrienne, thank you so much for having me on this podcast, this summit. I know you could have selected a whole lot of other people. I just love that we resonated, and I'm just so grateful for this opportunity. It's taking that second to recognize and appreciate somebody. So you do that every day. Imagine if everybody did that every day, right?
Just one time, or is it like multiple times?
Well, here's the thing. After 21 days, many things become a habit. Mm-hmm. And so if you do this every day, right? Gratitude every day becomes a habit. Then this deeper sense of appreciation, you might pick somebody up from your past and say, I never really told them how much they made a difference in my life. So because I'm doing this challenge, I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to send them an email. I'm going to call them on the phone. I'm going to write them an old-fashioned note and put it in the mail. Just something. Imagine getting that, right?
Yeah.
These beautiful reconnections. So I've had hundreds of people go through this work, and the stories of reconnection are just amazing. Like, I sent this letter to this person from undergrad 20 years ago, and now we've reconnected, and it's just beautiful, right? But we forget because we get busy with our 3D lives and our humanness. So that's the second thing, is giving appreciation. Just like the 75 hard, it's consuming personal growth and personal development content. You can listen to it though. That's the difference. With 75 hard, you have to read it. In this challenge, you could listen to it in an audio if you're out on a walk. So then the next thing would be movement. Moving your body for 30 minutes at least outside, being outside in nature, somehow outside, looking at the abundance that's everywhere, all the grass, all the trees, all the flowers, just the abundance that's out there, and just being present for 30 minutes walking. You could garden, you could do some exercise outside. There is a second component to the exercise, which is very much like 75 hard, and it's strength training.
Hmm.
Strength training is so important because if you're going to hold higher frequencies and vibrations, your physical body needs to be strong enough to hold those vibrations and frequencies. So when we strength train our physical body, we can then hold higher frequencies. We can become an antenna that can receive some higher frequencies by working and maintaining this human body. So there's two exercises. One is 30 minutes of strength training, can be yoga, and 30 minutes of moving outside. You could walk, you could jog, you could run, you
So
could
30 and 30.
30 and
Or
30.
like, could you do an hour run outside?
Well, I mean, you could, yeah.
Oh, but I guess that's not really strength training,
It's not
unless you
really
had some
strength
hills in
training. So
there.
maybe you'd throw some hills in there. I mean, we're not as strict as the 75 hard.
Yeah.
It becomes a habit. Your body starts to crave that strength training. If you start to say, okay, I normally just run, but this time I'm going to add some stairs, your butt's going to want it. Your butt's going to be like, oh, do those stairs. You're just going to start to create this almost um, response to want it. So there's that.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's that one. Then following a nutritious diet and abstaining from mind altering substances and toxins like alcohol, cannabis for 50 days. Just let your body allow yourself to know what you feel like. Allow
Hmm.
yourself to know what your thoughts are and what thoughts aren't yours. What frequencies, what vibrations are yours and which ones aren't. So, following a healthy nutrition plan, it can be one of your choice. It doesn't have to be a strict one, but 50 days. And 10 minutes of meditation or prayer. And in this 50-day challenge, it's suggested that it's in silence. It's not even with guided meditation. It's so that you learn what it's like to have a direct connection with source. Even some of the highest frequency beings on the planet guiding us through meditation, there's still a filter. They're still filtering source energy, light codes, love through them to us. And so by sitting in 10 minutes and having that attention to have your own direct source, so you don't have to go to anybody else. You don't have to go to gurus or psychics or mediums. Like you can learn how to be your own connection to source energy, your higher self, the angelic realms. So that's that. And then the seventh thing in this challenge is a frequency assignment. So 50 days turns out to be 7 weeks. So for 1 week, we look at our language. That's why I talked about the language. So one of the,
Mm.
like for 1 week at the bottom of the journal, you would look at your language, like your internal language, your external language, what you speak. And we have high frequency words and low frequency words at the back of the journal because a lot of times people don't even realize they're using low frequency words like, oh, no problem, low frequency. That's a low frequency. And when these things are used repeatedly and habitually, it's bringing down a potential of higher
Mm.
frequency.
What would you
So
say to someone to say instead of no problem?
it's all good. Everything's
Mm.
good. Oh, it's so
Good rather
good.
than
It's
problem.
great. Yeah, yeah. Just even putting problem. See, the universe, we are creating our reality at every moment. And so the words, our thoughts, our intentions, the universe is just mirroring back. So if I'm saying problem, problem, the universe goes, okay, problem, problem, problem.
Mm.
So in our language, it's really important to frame our language, internal, external, our notes, our emails, our journaling in a constructively creative way, focusing on and speaking what we want into our lives versus what we don't want. Oh, these bills. I'm so tired of these bills. The universe goes, okay, bills. Here you go. Bills, bills,
Mhm.
right? I am so happy that I can pay off all these bills. I love that money is flowing to me to pay off these bills. So, and in the workbook and in this program, we offer a lot of resources because each of these weeks and each of these topics, you can tell already, are so deep and can go so wide. So, language is one, awareness is one, just becoming aware of your thoughts, your beliefs about things. We look at identity. What identity are you? We don't get what we want, we get who we are. So, if you want an ideal life, it's not going to come to you and then you're going to be that person. You have to be that person. You have to be the identity of that ideal life. And then you step into that timeline. So we look at identity. We clear out what doesn't serve us, kind of the Marie Kondo of your life, like looking at things, objects, physical, non-physical relationships that just bring your energy down. See how we can clean and clear out to make way for new. We rewrite our stories. It's like reframing, rescripting, the way we've looked at different things. Oh, I was divorced. That's so horrible. No, it wasn't. It was so great because divorcing that person freed me up to meet the real person of my dreams. And I learned so much and we traveled the world. It's like reframing these events and situations in our lives in a way that serve us. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, this work, when done consistently, persistently, leads you to just a natural state of seeing absolutely everything in your life as a gift. And that right there is one of the biggest takeaways, is to look at everything and go, oh, okay. You really don't even have to say or consciously not say no problem, because nothing is a problem for you. Everything is an opportunity. Oh, what an opportunity. Oh, well, look at me, I'm growing. Oh, I wasn't aware that I still held that belief. Oh, I wasn't aware that I had something to heal here, because it keeps coming up. So
Mm-hmm.
clearly, I'm attracting this in my life as an opportunity to keep working on this and healing it. And this
Mm-hmm.
person is so beautiful for stepping in and being that counterpart in my growth process, versus like, I can't believe that person did that to me. They're a nar and I'm an empath. And it's taking away all the labels and judgment and just looking at everything at a more neutral, kind of like the universe and loving way, that really the universe is here to serve us and to help us, and in totally everything is for us. So those are the
Mm.
7 things. The other the final week, week 7, is manifesting from a higher frequency. Yeah.
Amazing. I
Yeah.
love this so much. This is like 75 hard meets the artist way. I don't know if you're familiar with the artist way.
Exactly. I've never had anybody say that, because I was just saying 75 hard made a little bit easier, but it is like that. And it's also like the artist way, and because you are creating your life, and also kind of like Neville Goddard and manifestation work. So it's
I don't
that as
know that
well.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, one thing that you said that I really love is thinking about your language, not just in what you think. Everyone says, oh, think about your thoughts, think about the words you say, but thinking about what you write about in your journal. Because I've done Artist Way many times, and it's nice sometimes to like, vent it out, clear it out. But you're so right that like, what's the difference? You're putting it on paper, right? And so can we shift that? And what would you say to someone here listening right now who might be maybe disagreeing? And they might say, you know what, Dr. East, I think that it's inauthentic to try to frame it before we, talk about it from that hurt place. What are your thoughts
Oh,
on that? Do
sure.
we?
Oh, no, I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. Fabulous question. Fabulous question. This isn't about faking it till you make it. This isn't about delulu. It's about a commitment, saying, okay, I don't genuinely feel it, but I would like to. I'm totally open to receiving the feeling of pure forgiveness, or I'm completely open to receiving a breakthrough in this area of my life, and I'm open to seeing it differently. I genuinely can't say that I see it differently. I still feel hurt. However, I'm open to it. See, the thing is that everything that is here to serve us is in the ethers. We're antenna. We're just not attuned to it because we're blocking it, because we're holding on to our grudges. We're holding on to us. We're right. They're wrong. When we can let go of that, that's why I love the 10 minutes of silence, because you can sit in your 10 minutes of silence and you can say, all right, God. And if you don't like God, use source, universe, higher self, your future self, whatever is your greater power, the field. You sit in there and say, all right, I'm struggling with this, but I'm committed, even if it's a micro inch. I would really love, again, it's focusing on what you want, not what you don't want, right? So if you really want a breakthrough in this, you really want to be released from a feeling of victimhood, or finding a way to look at it differently, all you got to do is ask. I mean, I love Rick Rubin's, because he says he lives such just this flow state life. He'll sit in meditation in the morning. He'll say, I've got this problem. And I know that today you'll put something, someone, or some situation in my path that'll solve that problem. All right, I'm going about my day. And he goes about his day. And sure enough, a billboard or a stranger or an email or, and it just, or he'll listen to a YouTube and it solves the problem he was thinking about that morning because he's open to receiving. He's not
Mm,
blocking it. He's allowing himself to be attuned to that. And I think that's what I would say. I would say, don't force yourself. I coach people in grief recovery for years, and we never tell anybody, we don't force anybody to forgive. We just say, can you move an inch? Can you even just be committed to that breakthrough and then be patient and then allow yourself. You've also got to take action. You've got to a lot of times in my 25 plus years of practicing and guiding people, people often say, I've tried everything. No, you haven't. You haven't. Like, just keep trying and you will eventually get the breakthrough if that's your intention. I think, though, some of us, we all do this, we're all human. We sit in some of that pain longer than we need to. And so sometimes it's like you sit, you process, you acknowledge, and then it's sometimes there's like, it's time to move on now when it's
mhm.
ready, but it can be organic and it comes with, what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on, this sucks, I'm never going to feel better, that person's such a jerk, and I'm going to call all my friends and they're going to validate what a jerk that person is? Or, this doesn't feel good, so I'm going to go and I'm going to do breath work. I'm going to go and do that 50-day challenge. I mean, I don't know, it can't hurt, right? I'm going to seek out, okay, that didn't work, I'm going to try I'm going to go do ayahuasca. I'm going to try different things until I get the breakthrough. Are you committed to staying where you are? Are you committed to a breakthrough? Because if you're committed to a breakthrough, it will happen.
Mm.
It'll absolutely happen. The universe has to respond. Persistence, dedication, commitment, consistency. The universe has to manifest and respond.
I love this so much. And you're so right. People think they've tried everything, but they really haven't. And even the things that they have tried where they've said, oh, this hasn't worked for me, maybe there's just something didn't click yet. I hear that for people all the time. They said, oh, breathwork just doesn't work for me, or I don't like breathwork. Well, have you done my breathwork? Have you
Yeah.
found the instructor that works for you? Right. And even in what you've shared in the 7 daily habits, you had some subtle nuances where I think people really heard it in a different way. Like, for example, people might say, oh, I just don't like, weightlifting. I go to Zumba, I do other things, but, your body needs to hold, it needs to be strong to hold that frequency. So I love the way you've reframed that. Or people who say, oh, I have ADHD, I can't sit still, I can't meditate. But you're saying, do you want to have a direct connection with source?
Yep. Yep.
Right. So I love
Yeah.
these reframes. I think it's so fabulous. And I'd love to know for you, like, what has been the biggest shift in your life from this frequency work? Has there been something for you that, like, I don't know, maybe it was worthiness or something that you struggled with in the past that you realized kind of impacted your life and now it's the complete opposite?
Oh, great questions. I mean, all the things I've mentioned, I'm speaking from experience and also working with hundreds of patients over the years and watching them. Well, for myself, I had an issue around forgiveness, and I did so much work. I could easily have said I've tried everything, and just staying attuned to being open to receiving a breakthrough in an area of my life where I just felt so hurt, and just being persistent with it, like, and not demanding that it happen today, and being very patient to it. It took me years. So when I did the grief recovery method years ago, I became certified in that. People were forgiving horrific things that had happened to them. And in comparison, which you're not allowed to do, but in comparison, I didn't seem as bad, but I just genuinely, authentically couldn't say I forgave this person for some of the pain they caused me in my childhood. And so with this work, within about a year, I started to just keep tuning to, I am open to receiving a breakthrough. I am open. I'm not controlling what it looks like. I'm not going to tell you when it has to happen, how it has to happen. I'm just open to receiving a breakthrough here. And I just kept going about my day. I didn't sit in. Anyway, I'm happy to report, it was just a random Tuesday, and this person was over for dinner, and it was an organic, visceral, heart opening where I was like undescribable, where I felt true forgiveness. And it just happened randomly. I wasn't trying to. I
Mm,
really believe it was just this persistent, consistent commitment to being open to receiving a breakthrough. It's all about that. It's being open to receive. I'm open to receiving wealth. I'm open to receiving love. I'm open. So that's the other thing. I think that I had as much work, and I've done such breath work is such beautiful work. I love breath work. Breath work has helped me with so many past traumas and moving through my body and feel more love and more self-love. And this work took it to a level I couldn't even imagine. It was like, wow, I thought I felt love in my body for life, for God, for people. And it just expanded it beyond that. It's like,
mhm.
wow, I didn't even know I could hold that much more love. And so that's very helpful. The other thing is that gratitude work, it seems very subtle, and a lot of powerful things are subtle. The practice of every day, a lot of us do the gratitude work. Like, I'm grateful for living in San Diego. I'm grateful for the weather. I'm grateful for my beautiful house, right? But sitting and going, who can I appreciate today? It's like that reticular activating system, right? Now you're going through life looking for ways to appreciate people. It's a whole different lens, right? So I'm out there searching for people or opportunities to appreciate somebody on a deeper level so I can write it in my journal. And now I don't even need to write in my journal. It's like 5, 6. The way I appreciate people is more grounded and present and connected than ever before, just from like kind of forcing myself to go out and do that through the work. And some of the other stuff, I think those are the big things that I'm feeling now. And the visual that's dropping into my awareness is like when you're in many of your audience probably are vegetarian, but when you grill a steak, you take it off before it's done because it keeps cooking. And I feel like this work is like that. It's like you finish the 50 days and you might do another 50 days and then you're just going about your day, but the expansion doesn't stop. I just feel
Mhm.
like it keeps going, and the growth and the levels of consciousness and what you're able to receive as you expand your consciousness and as you grow and go to different levels of consciousness, you can receive different frequencies, experiences that have always been here, but just weren't able to attune to them. And so it's powerful work. And I
Yeah.
mean, I created this program in December of 24. So it's, we're still at the precipice of this. And I'm excited to see where it goes, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this so much. And I love that you've had breakthroughs through breath work, and this has also supported you in expanding beyond that. It sounds like to me it's integration, right? Because
Yep.
breath work is incredible. And for many people, it feels like a natural high. But then what do you do every other moment of your life when you're not having that high? It's about the momentum. And I always tell people after a breathwork session, think about what is one inspired action step that you can take to integrate. And sometimes it's like, I feel deeper forgiveness or appreciation for someone. And it is, reaching out to that person. But I love that this is like all the time. You're just doing it all the time. You're appreciating, you're being grateful, you're moving your body, you're being healthy, all of this stuff to really raise the vibration. So my last question for you, and I'm really wanting to know your answer, is inspired from something that my husband said to me just yesterday. He says, you know what? Doctors back in the day, I think he was listening to a podcast and they said, like, the doctor wouldn't get paid unless they like cured the sickness or something like that. It was some sort of crazy thing. And he's like, but now today you only go to the doctor when you're actually sick. He's like, what about this whole wellness and like sickness prevention? People aren't necessarily going to doctors for that. And I know with your background, with Chinese medicine, what is it that you can tell us now can support us in living the longest, healthiest life? What are the most important things that we can do to prevent sickness?
Right. I mean, prevention is the number one thing because it's like when you're thirsty, you're past the point of dehydration. You know what I mean? So your health and is to start to listen to pay attention to the warning signs when they're soft and subtle, right? Headaches, not sleeping well, aches and pains, and just like the feelings, like, oh, like that kind of feeling. Oh, I've got to do this. No, you don't. Right. So it's being aware of just your state of being aware of the state of being before you take action. You're going to send an email and you're really angry. Oh, what if you stopped, dropped into your heart space for a moment, and you visualized the perfect outcome, right? Of every, like, and then you really just sit in a state of neutrality before you send that email, because what people don't recognize, and I think this work really helps you understand, is that we are so just in a soup or a sea of energy. And people don't, they take energy for granted because they can't see it. But when you raise your frequency, when you get more attuned, you can feel energy. And everybody can feel energy, but they just don't know, they're not aware that they're feeling the energy. So it's, in order for prevention, I mean, I always go back, it goes back to that forgiveness thing. And Lester Levinson, he is the creator of the Sedona method. Now, Lester Levinson, this is a quick, kind of factoid on him. He was given 3 months to live. He was living in Upper East Side of New York, and he was a very wealthy man. And he was very angry, very resentful, was not living his best life, not very healthy. And he went home and he's like, but he was, determined not to die. And he's like, I'm going to figure this out, right? Every doctor said nothing we can do. So he sat in his apartment and he just realized how miserable he was, how angry he was, how isolated he was, because he made everybody in the world wrong. And he was right. And he was the victim and they were bad. And he started to say, is that really true? Is that really true? And so as he started to really unravel that and realize that his own inability to be open to receive a breakthrough in forgiveness, right? He was blocking it off, was stopping him from healing, from processing, letting these things move through him and not hold on to them. And so with this work, becoming aware of yourself, you can prevent dis-ease from lodging in the body and staying there, because you'll recognize, look at that. I'm starting to tether on to that kind of belief, or I'm engaging in this habit that is bringing my energy down. You start to feel it. You're going to prevent a lot of things from settling in. 2 things. Number one, it's easier to handle baby Godzilla than big Godzilla, if that makes sense, right? So always think of that. Don't wait for Godzilla to get huge, because it's going to take a whole lot to take care of Godzilla in your life. Number 2, I often will open up a talk by asking people in the audience, where are you from? Hey, where are you from? I think this is very helpful in that effort of forgiveness and seeing the world neutral, and stop judging and putting ourselves bigger, better, less than, victimized. And it goes like this. I'll say, hey, where are you from? And you say, oh, I'm from Reno. And I'll say, oh, I'm from San Diego. I'll say, no, you're not. And they'll say, yeah, oh, you mean where was I born? Oh, I was born in Cedar City, Utah. I was born in Georgia. I was born, no, that's not where you're from. We're all from the same place, guys. And we're all walking each other home. We're all going back to the same place. Like, if you can think about that, we all came from the same place. And we're all going back there. So if you can find a way back to that truth and that realization, it really can soften things up. And to say, I don't have the answers. I'm not here. I don't know if our brains can hold the answers to the cosmos. You're going to be better equipped to hold the answers, or even just get moments, flashes of awakening. If you do this work, if you do breath work, if you do meditation, you might have flashes of moments of feeling that knowingness of a greater sense, or the oneness of all. But you're not going to do it if you don't do the work yourself. Like, you have to be the one. You can read books about it all day long. Oh, wow, look at their awakening experience. That's amazing. But you have to have it for yourself. And that's why with this program, and my excitement over it, is it takes the focus from external to internal, because our reality is our internal world just pushed outward. That's really all it is. It's what's going on inside of us pushed out. And when
Mhm.
we can recognize that, we take full radical responsibility for everything in our lives, not in a shameful way, like, oh, I've got cancer, so it's my fault. It's not about that. It's not about that. It's looking at, okay, what can I do? How can I alchemize this? How can I use this as an opportunity for growth? How can I love more? How can I go beyond this? And turn it into an opportunity. That's kind of the reframe. We get that choice.
So good. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for all of
Yeah,
this wisdom. This is amazing. And I know that you have an awesome free gift for us. I'd love for you to share what that is and who you
I do.
recommend it for.
I do. I do. I do. All right. So, along with this book, so this program, if you go to dreast.com, all spelled out, you can learn about the Elevate. It's called 50 Days to the Next Best Version of You, 50 Days to a Higher Frequency program. You can buy the book, you can do the digital, you can do live coaching on that. Um, I am about to launch on 8/8 Lionsgate my book called Living Life in Your PJs, which is kind of aligned with all this work, is going to be published and out. And I have the digital do-it-yourself self-guided workshop of that content, and it's called Living Life in Your PJs. P, purpose, passion. There's 9 P's in PJs. J is joy, just do it, and S is service to others. And that's a beautiful formula for aligning to your authentic self and remembering who you are. And so that digital program is $197, and your audience can get it for free if they type in Breath of Gold. So you go to dreast.com, go to courses, you'll see it there. It's called Living Life in Your PJs Self-Guided Workshop. They put in that code, they get it for free. I would love for
Amazing.
people to do this work. It's like a nice, easy, it's not as deep as this one. So it's like the shallow end, but it's a great start.
Yes, the starting point, the
Yeah.
taster. Of course, yes. Breath of Gold, all caps. That'll be linked also right below this video so you can get that right away. And where else can people find you beyond your website?
Yeah, dreast.com for sure. When the PJs book comes out, I'll be doing my PJs podcast. That'll be coming out. And I have some children's books on illuminuspublishing.com.
Wow,
So yeah,
that's so
yeah,
cool. What are the
yeah.
children's books about?
I'm so happy you asked.
I'm curious.
This is called The Rainbow Fairies. It's a field guide. And my pen name for all my children's books is East Lewis. The irony is my birth name was East Lewis. I was adopted into East Harridan, got married into East Phillips. And so for my pen name, I'm using my real name, which is
Mm.
a beautiful return to my true self. So you tell me if you start to see a theme. The red fairy builds houses and creates security. The orange
Mm.
fairy is very creative and loves to cook and nurture
It's
others.
like connected to the chakras.
Well, it could be, but there's no mention of chakras in here whatsoever. The green fairy loves to give hugs. The blue
No.
fairy sings beautiful songs, always tells the truth. The violet fairy, the indigo fairy can see things that cannot be seen with your eyes. And the violet fairy communicates with the cosmos and brings back messages. It's such a beautiful little book. And so this one just got published this year in March, and it's being sold on illuminuspublishing.com. So in those avenues, you can see me, and I hope you see a whole lot of me. I hope you
Yes.
see a whole lot of me. I would love if there's any way I can be of service to others, um, motivate, inspire, or encourage others. I call my MIE. I am here. I'm committed. I'm dedicating my life to it. And I have a YouTube channel, Dr. Reese, as well, that I'll be dropping
Amazing.
more videos in on that.
I love that so much. Thank you for sharing that children's
Yeah.
book too. I
Thanks.
used to, when I was a child, my mom used to be like, "Do you want a story tonight?" And I was like, "Yes, about the fairies, please." So what a synchronicity that is like always fairies and like the forest and
Yep.
everything. So
Yep.
that's so sweet. I know when I'm a mom one day, I'll have to be getting that book for my future daughter.
Yeah,
So
or write your
yeah.
own, because same thing. My kids were insatiable. Tell us another story. Tell us another story. So that was their go-to. Tell us about the rainbow fairies. And because I'm a
Oh,
yoga teacher, I just instantly started telling them about the different
so
colored
you
of the
made it up. You
fairies.
channeled it first.
Well, yeah, but I just followed the chakras. It was easier, right? It's like, oh, the blue fairy. Oh, you don't want to know what else? And so I just love that book so much. I wanted to memorialize it, that I had it illustrated and turned into a book. And I have a few more coming down the pipe. But yeah, I'm just
Amazing.
living life in my PJs, following the passion and the joy and staying in service to others. That really is your alignment formula.
Incredible. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for the work that you do. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
being here. This has been so awesome. And thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you
We'll
so
see you
much.
soon.
Bye, hon.
Bye.